Today you find me at the dry dock here in Weymouth. I'm interviewing James Brown, who's a great photographer, and will share exactly what he does. You're on.
Hello, my name's James Brown, and if you've ever seen my photos on Facebook, I take a few photos. I've been doing this for many, many years, and my late father used to be a photographer, so kind of followed in his footsteps. Weymouth, very historic town, lots of beautiful old buildings, and I quite enjoy taking photographs of these old buildings and taking them in such a way that they look as if they were taken 50 years ago. We've started to bring pictures to life, so the old Victorian pictures we're starting to bring to life. And this story really started about 7 years ago with my sadly late mother-in-law, who was an East End girl. She was born in the East End and went through the war, the Blitz, as a child. And a few years ago, I got her a book out of a charity shop showing pictures of the East End. And she spent hours and hours now studying every picture in detail, hoping to see perhaps someone she knew in one of these photos. And she said, it's a shame you can't bring these to life. And that got us thinking, because as a photographer, you can make pictures move, not with using computers. You can put them on a flat and you can move the camera around, and that can give the effect of making a move. But of course, now with AI, you can progress that a lot more. But AI in itself isn't the end be all of everything, because AI isn't that bright. So we have to get the photos, we have to bring them up to a certain image, we have to increase the size of the photo, we have to focus one spot of that photo, and then run it through quite a few different series of AI to get what we want. Otherwise, you'll find cars going backwards or boats going sideways. So it's quite a lengthy process. But we've got lots of Victorian photos of Weymouth, because Weymouth has always been a very photographed town, whereas Swanage and Wimborne haven't got many photos. And we've got enough now where we can almost recreate Weymouth in the 1880s to 1890s. Now, strictly speaking, the only way you can do that is with AI, unless you literally recreate it with actors and period stuff, which obviously, but that wouldn't be recreating the people. My wife is very much into recreating actual people's lives. If when we go around the Tank Museum, she'll enjoy reading the stories of the soldiers, their personal lives. When she sees photographs, she says, I wish they could move. So we try and do that. And we've started this project, and it's going quite well. We're getting better and better at it. And we're now able to take videos of Weymouth now and then link it up with videos of Weymouth from war years and the 1800s.
Do you think that people can connect with the pictures?
Yeah, I mean, they certainly can. Some of those photos would... so we've got history when you go back to Tudor times. You can't relate to that. But when you go back to the 1880s, my grandmother was born in 1912. Her parents would have been born 40 years before that. So you can almost trace it back to almost a link. So the 1880s isn't so far away in the history that we can't link to it. And obviously in the 1960s, obviously I was born around that time, and the 1940s, again, we can still link. Now, some people, they find that quite eerie to get a picture and see it move. Some people find it quite comforting. And when you then turn a picture that's a flat piece of paper into something, even for 5-10 seconds, moves. And we can only make them do 5 seconds because that's how long the picture will stretch for. Can't stretch it any more than that. So it's a 5-second window. Lots and lots of people have liked it. There are some that don't like it. There are some that don't agree with AI, and I get that. But AI is able to do things that we couldn't do without it.
So there's something called the uncanny valley, where people feel something is strange because they're not used to it. Look it up on Google.
Yeah.
But do you think the virtual making a still picture move, that's what gets people, makes
It's
people feel strange.
Of course it does. You know, I've done the same with my grandma's pictures, and I mean, I remember her moving, but you know, you get a reminder of that. Some people feel uneasy about it. Some people like it. Some people take comfort on it. But the reality is, it's here, and it's not going to go away. If we can try and connect the younger generation with, say, the war, the Victorian era, then they might start to appreciate what we went through to get to now, and they might appreciate what they've got now. And I think it's important if we can bring those soldiers from the US that walked down, got on those boats and went over to D-Day, if we can get them moving for 5 seconds, all of a sudden then that's a person there, not a picture. And if you can connect with them in some way, then that brings that connection there. It makes you think. It makes you sort of think, yeah, by the grace of God go I. The Victorian era, everyone loves the Victorian era. And if we can bring them back and you see those beautiful dresses or those men's in suits and they're walking for 5 seconds, it just gives that more in-depth visual approach rather than just a picture in a book. And I don't think there's a bad thing about that. Some people do really disagree with what we're doing. And now, of course, we live in a free country, so they say that, but more people enjoy it a lot more than the few that don't.
Yeah. So what are the next steps with the project?
Well, the next steps are we're getting more and more photos. They have to be sorted. So some photos really are not of a quality that we can do. Unfortunately, we can improve the quality of the photo, but we can only go to such an amount, and then we can't do it. So it's quite a long process. We're basically mapping out Weymouth. We're putting the photos together with Weymouth, and we're trying to max them into years. Now, we bought quite a few photos of Portland, and unfortunately, some of them actually Portland of America. So we're having to sort that out. But there's a lot of places. So Portland hasn't got many Victorian photos. Swanage, incredibly, has hardly got any photos. Wimborne, again, has hardly got any photos. I don't know why. Photography was quite rare back in their days. Bournemouth, Weymouth, loads of photos, obviously very popular. And it's an amazingly large town, so there's a big area to do.
Right. So are you still going to take, you specialize as well in your night photographs?
Yeah, we got equipment that's very good at night. So we do night for lots of reasons. First of all, there's no one around. We kind of like the fact that these buildings, we take photographs of the buildings because at night you can focus on them. Our cameras are perfect for nighttime photography, and the buildings look amazing. And it gives an insight into a world that people don't see. People get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, they leave for work at 8 o'clock, and they don't see these buildings, they walk past them. So many times people have said, oh, we didn't know that building was there. And you think you've walked past it all your life. So we like to take photographs of the town without people. Plus the fact as well, you know, if you're taking a photograph of someone, there's always going to be someone, oh, I didn't give you permission. So we avoid that. People actually, a lot of people enjoyed COVID. They liked the fact that there was a world without people, and we take those photos, and people like it. We also do a lot of lone women photos, which actually is my wife is normally posing for that, and but that goes into different art groups as well. So yeah, I mean, we kind of like doing it. We get a chance to do it. We can go to Helen Lane and we can be there for half an hour, not see anybody, and take photos, and you know, and that's it. It's good. It's really good. We couldn't do it during the day, but yeah, it works.
So finally, are there any links that people can go to see your work?
Yeah, I'll send the Facebook page.
Okay. I'll put all the links that he sends me beneath this video, and we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.